Hey guys, welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to take a quick look at how to start our project using organization in mind. Also, we'll talk about how to manage all the amount of files that we're going to have. Then we'll move on to starting with our project for this multipass CG compositing course. We're going to go over the goals for our composite, for our image. I'm going to talk about how the project was conceived and how it was possible to create a workflow between two different 3D applications like Maya and Cinema 4D and making everything come together in our compositing package. Okay, let's talk about organization. I'm gonna try and make it quick because we all want to get started with compositing actually, and not so much with all this technical stuff. Although these past three classes have been very important foundations for any future projects that you guys may work on. All right, so when working as a part of a team or even by yourself, organization is key. Knowing where the comps are, where the files should be, that's all really helpful for the flow of the project. So for that, there's a simple script that I made called make folders. You should have it in your project files. So after you install that, let's click make folders and you should be getting a warning to enable linearized working space. Hit OK, make sure we have it. To RGB, linearized. Let's switch to 8 for speed. Now, what you get is this set of folders right here. Pretty straightforward, simple stuff. If you guys are familiar with scripting, you should be able to customize it to fit your needs. So comps, pre-comps, really simple. Assets, any kind of elements that you usually deal with. So let's bring all the renders for our project. Now, the process of importing all this amount of CG elements, image sequences, it's time consuming in After Effects and very repetitive. So for that, I use a script called immigration, which is available at a website called ascripts.com. What immigration is going to do is going to read at all the image sequences inside a folder and batch import them into After Effects. Also, you can replace them if there's a new version available. So let's go here. Then inside the env folder, that's going to be the environment, everything that was rendered in Cinema 4D. Robot is going to be everything that was rendered with Maya. Let's go env main, and let's bring all this stuff here. Let's make a folder, go env, and let's bring that stuff here. Shift select, make sure it's 24, make sure that's selected, import folder. So for this project, I render way more passes than I would for a regular one. But in this case, it's going to be helpful because we'll try to go over each one and explain how they can be used. In the case of Maya and V-Ray, we're going to explain how I can use raw passes to reveal the beauty, how we can use light selects that are split into diffuse, specular, and raw light. So let's move on to this project right here where I already imported all the other passes. So we can move forward. And let's do a quick A over B and talk about how this project came to be. So let's move this here. We have the background. Let's look at the robot. Now, the animation was done by a good friend of mine called Patrick Clark, and I want to thank him for all the help. So let's look at the animation. It's a fun little end tag. Our main character is promoting a fake product called OozX. Now you don't see the logo here yet. It should go here at the end, but there's going to be a later lesson where we will add the logo using UVs. So, like I said, the project was spread out between Maya and Cinema 4D. Robot animation in Maya, environment in Cinema 4D. It all started by me blocking out all the moves for the camera in Cinema 4D, and then it was exported either as an FBX or as an Alembic into Maya. Let's go to Maya here. Open scene. Let's open the robot. So by taking advantage of Alembic files, we were able to go back and forth between both apps while keeping the character animation intact. As you can see here, Maya, there's the character animation. And then if we go into Cinema 4D and open the same file with the actual environment behind it, you will see that there's a robot, and it's an Alembic file that came from Maya. In case you guys didn't know, Alembic is a type of exchange file, kind of like FBX or OBJ. But the great thing about it is that it stores cached animation. It stores character animation, camera animation, etc. And it lets you open them in almost any 3D application nowadays. It's really easy to export and really fast to play back. So we're going to be providing you guys with the C4D files and Maya files for this project, so you guys can take a more in-depth look at how all of this was built. Let's switch back to After Effects and talk about the goals for this project. So let's pre-comp this. Let's grab a brush, make sure it's single frame, and let's talk about what our goals are. So here, our goal is to blend the character with the C4D environment a little bit more seamlessly. So there's like a yellow tint here. We want to try to remove that and add a more sleek, white, glossy kind of look to match this type, the product here. Then we're going to go to the beginning of the animation, and in this section we're going to try and add a little bit more dramatic kind of feel to it. So maybe some flying air dust particles, then maybe spotlight here, maybe have some volume lights. Then we're going to go here, we're going to add a glow coming out of the product. Let me just turn on this one. Then we're going to go to this section and we're going to add a nice UI that's going to be tracking with the character. Then we're going to go to this section. When it cuts to this section, it's going to go from the dark lit environment to this bright, very fun kind of bright color environment. There's going to be lasers shooting out of the gun. There's going to be cracks on the floor here. This is actually gonna go behind the product. The debris should go in front of this. There's going to be smoke coming out of these, some flying particles, same here. It's going to be bubbles in this side chamber, some sort of liquid here, and then smoke behind, and the graphics still being tracked to the robot's face. So like I said, it's going to be a fun project. These are going to be our goals. So that was a quick look at organizing our project by using scripts to automate certain processes. Then we brought in all the renders for this project and quickly talked about what our goals are and how the 3D pipeline came together for this animation.